There are many people in our community who make a positive impact. Now there's a way to recognize these individuals with the Synergy Credit Union Extra Mile Award.
Leaders in our community are what makes communities great. The Lloydminster and surrounding area is full of great people that have done great things. And so recognizing them through this Extra Mile initiative gives them some seed capital to continue doing some great things within our communities.
Local heroes giving back to our community come in many forms. The Mount Joy initiative, for example, spends local dollars in our own backyard. Consisting of downhill skiing for younger families, people don't have to travel to the Rockies to do any of these activities.
We know that what gets recognized gets repeated.
You can fill out an application form on Synergy's website until March 15th. Voting can be done online or in person starting March 28th. Students from St. Mary's School are taking advantage of the extra hours of today's leap year to perform acts of kindness. A class of grade 6 students participated in the hashtag My24Hours online campaign today. The campaign is designed to encourage people to participate in random acts of kindness and post them on social media using the hashtag. The class spent the afternoon handing out flowers donated by Grow It Direct to workers in the mall. Teacher Nicole Blay says it's a perfect way to teach kids about giving.
They're doing something good and posting it and sharing with the rest of the world the kindness that they're spreading today.
Some students, like Ali Daigle, say they can't wait to do something like this again.
Yeah, I would like to do this every day.
The St. Mary's student also dropped by the Hemstock and Libby Young Center in the morning to deliver donuts and muffins to employees. Hundreds of people rocked out to one of Saskatoon's most well-known bands at the Vic Juba Theatre Saturday night. For the second time, the Sheepdogs performed in Lloydminster, this time touring for their fall release of Future Nostalgia. Hannah Tita has more.
We usually get described as sort of a classic rock, but we like a lot of different genres of music, particularly from like the 60s and 70s, old soul music, country, folk, and rock. So we just like to take different elements from all of those genres.
5 studio albums, lots of international performances, and countless sold-out crowds. The Sheepdogs have skyrocketed into popularity over the past few years.
After a long period of touring around and kind of beating our heads against the wall and not really getting any traction, I don't think we ever thought we could have this kind of success. And, you know, we're very lucky for the success we do have.
In 2011, the band from Saskatoon made history after becoming the first unsigned band to grace the cover of Rolling Stone's magazine. They then went on to win 3 Juno Awards in 2012 for New Group, Single, and Rock Album of the Year. Sam Corbett says it really gave the band a platform to gain exposure and ultimately a much bigger following.
Before that, we'd spent, a good solid 5 years touring, doing a lot of heavy touring and trying to promote our music as much as we could. But after the big difference is that nobody really came to our shows or listened to our records before that.
The Sheepdogs performed at the Cooler 4 years ago, and Corbett says they were happy to return to the border city this weekend.
Yeah, we always hope for a sold-out crowd, but even if it isn't, we just like having a good time, and we will rock the people who are there.
They still have quite a ways to go. The second half of their tour will take the Sheepdogs all the way across the country, ending in Halifax. Hannah Tita, Newcap News.
Every year, millions of liters of engine oil is used and eventually ready for waste. However, instead of just throwing it all away, it can be recycled and reused. Over the years, this solution has been a growing trend that's not only helped many get rid of their oil, but it's also helped the environment stay a little cleaner. In this week's Retrospect, Krisha Khan shares how much oil recycling has expanded in our region since the early 90s.
Like old tires and batteries, used motor oil is a commodity with plenty of supply but little demand. And for years, service stations and backyard mechanics have had trouble getting rid of their used engine oil. But now times are changing, and a number of corporations are taking advantage of the surplus, including Turbo Canada, which has been recycling since the mid-1970s. And with the help of provincial funding from the Alberta government, Elk Point Turbo dealer Terry Wozniak has built a waste oil disposal unit.
And what we do is we unload it free of charge as of now. We're not charging to unload it. It's put into the big tank, the storage tank, and from here it goes to the city where they recycle it, and then they take it from there. They add the additives and stuff and make engine oil out of it. With the 2-valve system, the valve on the bottom, I take sample of the oil that people bring in and just do a simple test on it to detect whether there's paints or antifreeze in it, because that oil, if it's taken to the city, it's rejected, so it's got to be disposed of elsewhere.
In Edmonton, the impurities are removed and replaced with additives before the oil is sold on the market once again.
With a facility such as this, Terry and his family here in a secured compound, they have the opportunity of testing the product first to make sure that there aren't any contaminants in it that we don't want to get into our base in Edmonton.
As times were changing then, they're also changing now, and recycling oil is an operation that has grown immensely in the area over the years.
Since then, we started out very small. Now, last year, we collected over 18 million liters of oil, and this year, so far, it's looking like we're going to be up to more like 19. We collect all throughout Alberta, Saskatchewan, a little bit into BC, and we have trucks in all major centers, and we also collect filters, plastics, those kind of things, all oil-related material.
As environmental concerns continue to grow, oil repurposers such as Dipper Oil Recycling have tripled their operation in order to keep up with the demand and to make oil disposal a simple and effective process. Well, that's all for Retrospect this week. I'm Chris Chacon.